Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more Magnolia State Productions. We are here once again at Catalpa Creek Classic, Round 2, Back 9. A huge thank you to Disc and That for sponsoring this tournament, sponsoring the coverage, and also want to give a big shout out to Modern Woodman, William Pocup, specifically for sponsoring this coverage and supporting disc golf here in the great state of Mississippi. We're going to jump right in on hole 10, because this is the Back 9. Hole 10, par 3, 262 feet. This one, kind of a gimme if you have the accuracy, but if you push it a little too far or if you come up just a little bit short, you baby it a little bit too much, not so much a gimme. So, not a gimme at all. Noah Smith starting us off. Nice width on this one. Unfortunately, catching that tall grass. I don't know if the grass was necessarily tall or it was just really sticky. Not in the sense that it was full of sticks, but in the sense that it would catch things. Here's Josue. Nice and straight, and skipping maybe a little bit too inside. What we will see. Ryan Montgomery now. And that looked perfect. And finally, Kyle Gray. Well, I say finally. Dylan is after him, but... Ooh, Kyle... catching a little bit of shrubbery, it looked like, right there. And Dylan throwing nice and wide. A little too straight, maybe? Yep, just a little bit too straight. He will end up a little bit past it. Noah furthest from the pin here. And still with a great look. It looks like a bunch of great shots. So, it's hard to see past all those trees from the tee. That's my excuse anyway. Oh, and just a little too low for Noah. There is OB directly behind the basket. There's a creek wrapping all around it. That may have gotten into his head, or maybe he was just a little undercommitted on that one. Dylan a little bit obstructed here. Got a little shrubbery action in his way. Oh, nice and committed, though. Nice confident miss there. Yeah, and everybody making it around the corner and giving themselves a great shot. Josue eager to capitalize on that one. Makes the birdie. Noah cleaning up his par. Dylan to do the same. And then we have Ryan and Kyle to finish out with their birdies. And on to hole 11 we go. Par 3, 387 feet. Another huge hyzer, either forehand or backhand. Backhand, you want a bit more of a hyzer flip to carry away from the left creek, but you don't want to push too far or you will meet the out-of-bounds parking lot. Josue throwing nice and wide. And this is a very common shot and result, to just throw it really wide and just play the safe hyzer shot. Oh, and this is maybe a little too inside from Ryan. Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. No issues there. That should be a circle 2 look at the basket, I believe. Kyle turning this one way over. And getting the world champion luck there to skip towards the basket from just way outside. Noah also opting for the nice wide hyzer. Oh, and just catching the only tree to stop the skip. And there's only so much you can do when you get breaks like that. Finally, we have Dylan opting for that flex backhand that he likes to throw. Not quite getting enough height on that one to make its way towards the basket. Excuse me. Noah launching this forehand. Thankfully getting a nice Nice catch on the ground there. Should be an easy par for him. Dylan trying to repeat his round 1 fireworks and throw it in for birdie. That was pretty special. Josue from just outside the circle. Had a good height on it, but looks like he just threw it a bit too wide. Yeah, and here we have Ryan outside the circle. Giving that a nice run. Just coming in a little bit low. And Kyle from just outside the circle with a very fortunate skip. And as you can hear, the wind, it was ripping. Oh, and just a little too soft for Kyle, but he will have to settle for the par. Dylan cleaning up his par. Noah from about 15 or so feet from here. Cleaning that one up nicely. It's kind of a tester putt too, with that little bit of uphill, little bit of wind. Ryan taking no time, cleaning up his putt, or excuse me, his par. And finally we have Josue. And we are here at hole 12, the first par 4, not the last, 673 feet. OB ditch / creek here to the right that the basket is right next to. Most years they have an OB line, but this year they did not, which I'm sure most pros are fortunate for. Josue showing us how it's done with a nice, safe hyzer play here. Probably going to see most of our pros throw that line. You do kind of want it to be closer to that ditch because it does open up the backhand hyzer play a lot more. The closer to the ditch you are, the safer your approach shot will be. But you do bring in the OB ditch if you throw near it, so this is just a nice safe play, and then you'll just play that controlled distance shot for your approach. And that's sort of the mistake that you'd make by throwing it too low. It's just catching a lot of that really big, really tall brush in there. Dylan with a huge mash right here. Yep. Yeah, that's a very aggressive play. Makes the second shot a lot easier the further up you get, as always. Noah has an amazing forehand from what we've seen, so I don't expect anything super bad from this. And just, oh my god, the mash on that. That was just humongous. That was at least 300 feet, I would say, just from a very obstructed run-up. Josue with a nice smooth forehand of his own here. Puts himself inside the circle. And with there being no OB line against the creek, it does make that forehand a lot safer to throw. Ryan putting himself just inside the circle, looks like. Kyle with the only disc that he ever forehands, the Firebird. I believe that's a 2020 Sexton Firebird. Yep. Could be mistaken. Looks like he left himself a bit short on that one. And wow, Dylan with almost a jump putt at the basket. And unfortunately Dylan in front of the shot the entire time, so hard to see where that landed. Noah with a nice smooth A3 forehand flick to put himself under the basket for a nice, easy par. And Ryan just yanking that one a bit too far to the right. And Kyle, once again, coming up really short on his putt. And Josue following suit. Unfortunately, no birdies for the round 2 lead card here. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Dylan is still has yet to putt. Oh no. Noah far too low to make that. Oh, and speak of the devil, Dylan. This is his look at the 3. Oh no. Just a bit too high and right for that one. And as you can hear, the wind was just ripping. Ryan making good on that par. Kyle following suit, and everybody else is closer, so I don't expect to see any fireworks here or any huge blowups as Dylan, Noah, and then finally Josue will also tap in their pars. Hole 13, par 3, 256 feet. This one featuring a mandatory to the left of this tree we just swung to the left of. So most of our players, probably all of them, having seen them play so far, are going to opt for the forehand. In past tournaments we have seen a roller play and a huge backhand turnover, but those tend to go pretty long. And Josue unfortunately missing the mandatory on that shot, putting himself at 10 feet, unfortunately. That just hurts a little bit more.
Hey,
yeah, it looks like Ryan made the mandatory and gave it just enough height to spike in at the basket. Kyle looks like he's going for more of a skip play. And getting a nice little air skip to the basket. Maybe a little bit long. And Dylan putting a ton of flex on this one. Did not want to make the same mistake as last round, and instead opts to just go straight through the gap. Nice height from Noah on this one. Oh, and just getting caught by the mandatory tree, but I don't believe he missed it, so should be fine. And the wind not letting up at all. Dylan putting himself about 10 feet from the basket. Josue unfortunately missing the mandatory tree, having to putt from this drop zone. Nice committed putt there, just leaving it a bit too wide. And here we see Noah in a very similar position to where Dylan ended up in the first round, having to just do this really awkward stretch out. And you just see he barely threw that, and the wind just carried that over the basket, leaving him a lot of work left for the 3. I like the idea though. If the wind had just calmed down a little bit, that would have been perfect. And a huge putt from Noah to to stay pretty close to 6 down, which I believe is in the lead at this moment. Oh, and a nice elevator putt there from Kyle, hitting the top and going straight down, putting himself at 7 down, which is in the lead. Ryan with his birdie as well, as easy as it comes. This way, cleaning up that unfortunate bogey. And Dylan to clean up his par. And that takes us to hole 14, par 3, 287 feet. We have this OB culvert here, and then we have the OB walking path there to the left. Anything on that or to the left of it is out of bounds. Ryan Montgomery to start us off. Really kind of a pick your poison hole. You can throw the backhand, the forehand, you can go straight on, you can throw hyzer. Hyzer definitely kind of at the same time a safe play and a risky play, because it does bring in the culvert if you don't put enough juice on it. So there we saw Ryan turn his disc over too much. And Kyle opting for the hyzer play and almost spiking it into the basket. That was pretty awesome. Dylan opting for this flex backhand. Oh, unfortunately getting a weird little lift there. He will thankfully not find the out of bounds, but he will leave himself with a circle 2 putt. And Noah with the nice backhand hyzer here, swinging that really wide. He will also find circle 2. And Josue also opting for that hyzer line. And that is a fantastic shot. That is a tap in 2. Here we have Dylan. That looks like he's just barely outside the circle, so maybe 45, 50 feet. Great commitment on that one, going a little bit long of the basket, but still inside the circle. None of these putts are a gimme with this wind. Oh, and here's Ryan, and he ended up like right underneath me. Noah doing the exact same thing, hitting the bottom of the monopod there. Oh, I said Josue was a tap in, but this is a little bit further than that. But it's a tap in for him. He brings himself to 6 down with that birdie. Noah fortunate not to roll down into the culvert. That would have been very sad. Cleaning up that par. His putt is so driven. I am jealous. That is really cool to just see him just drill those. A little slight hyzer putt. So nice. Ryan with a similar nice little swift stabby putt like that. Dylan making good on that par save. And finally we get to Kyle, capitalizing on that good drive with a good putt. Hole 15, you know it, you love it. Par 3, 245 feet. We've got just so many windows. Just pick one and go for it. You've got this straight at it gap here. You've got the forehand to the left, you got the backhand to the right. Kyle opting for the forehand skip shot and executing it to perfection. Really showing us how it's done here. Josue to follow suit. Oh, a little too high. It looks like he caught the early tree there. He'll leave himself in circle 3 or so for the 2. Nice shot from Ryan, going way too far though. I like the commitment on it. Dylan leaking this one a little early, but getting very good ground play, and he'll put himself, I think, just outside the circle. Now we're going to show off that forehand again. Oh no. A little worm burner there, but getting a fair amount of skip toward the basket. We'll have a look at it at the very least. Pretty late in the tournament to be leaking strokes though, so I'm sure he would love to have that one back. Josue just pitching up towards the basket, leaving a little bit of meat left on the bone, but and Noah giving that an honest run, I would say, just coming up too short. Oh, I said Ryan went super long, but he was just pin high to the right, so great shot. Dylan, I'm just blind, I guess, because I don't remember his shot being that close. I thought he was much shorter than that. But the egg is on my face because he has a birdie and I don't, so Josue tapping in that par. Good cleanup there. Noah to follow suit. And Kyle with the absolute park job. Really laying him down here on the back 9. And we find our way to hole 16, the final par 4, 597 feet. Most of our pros are going to be landing their tee shot right around where the center frame is, the camera, or the drone cover, excuse me. We have that OB culvert, bleh. And then finally we have the basket with a nice sloping green. Kyle Gray opening us up with a nice backhand hyzer. Looks like his Firebird. Looks like he cut the corner nicely. So the further left you are off the tee, the better off your approach is. Ideally, you want to be past the line of trees by the culvert, but that does bring in the OB, so very risky shot. Much safer to just play the hyzer, which so far we have seen 3 of 3 shots? Yeah, 3 of 3 shots do very nicely. And so far, 4 of 4. And maybe a little bit... Oh, no, yeah, that's very inside. So, unfortunately, I don't believe that he made it through. Josue a little too inside as well. He will have to... No, he... juked me out there. He'll have to do the little chop forehand. Little flex shot there. That should be a look at the basket. And this right here is prime position. This is what you're aiming for when you're throwing on this hole. That looks like a fine shot from Dylan. Fading in towards the trees should be fine. And Ryan with the best tee shot I've seen so far. That should put himself inside the circle. You can just see the basket, and so that makes it so much easier to throw. Whereas if you are right around here, which is I believe Kyle, you're kind of just throwing and hoping because you can't really pick an aiming point. And I do apologize. We actually lost the footage for hole 16 and 17 past what we saw due to some corrupt data. So unfortunately, that is as far as we got. Everybody made par except Dylan. He made a birdie, so that is why he is First up off the tee here on hole 18, the final hole. This one a mush, as this is almost 400 feet of pure golf distance. Dylan showing us how it's done. Absolute park job on the final hole. And at this point, Kyle with the outright lead. Or no, excuse me. No, I'm sorry. He does have the outright lead. He is leading by 1 stroke. And that puts him in a great position for the 2. Oh no, Ryan turning that one way over. That is very far, very far. And Josue with that sneaky distance there. Should be in a good spot, maybe outside the circle. Oh, and Noah turning this one over as well. So Noah and Ryan very far out of position for the 2. Ryan looks like he's going to run it. And that was a great looking shot. Coming up a little bit short, but that should be an easy cleanup for the par. And Noah putting himself in a fantastic spot with that A3 that he's been throwing all round. Josue from outside the circle. Oh, coming off the top of the basket. Oh no, and Ryan ending the round with a bogey. Very unfortunate. And Kyle has to make this or there will be a playoff. And he finally drains one the proper way. Nice dead center. And he will be your Catalpa Creek Classic champion. Dylan actually going past the basket. This is every bit of 410 feet. And cleaning up with the birdie to finish his round out. 6 down. That will put him in tied 6th place. Josue finishing his round at 5 down. Where does that put him? I'm not sure. I can't see the scores properly, but Noah finishing 4 down. Ryan finishing 2 down. And I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Tyler Williams for shooting 9 down. He finished it even through the first round and then came back and shot the, I don't know if it's necessarily a course record, but it's at the very least the hot round for the second round. So moving himself in tied 2nd position with Chris Parton, who shot 8 down for the round and was just 1 back from Kyle almost the entire way. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you once again to Modern Woodman and William Pocup for sponsoring this coverage. Thank you to Andy Hunt with Disc and That for supporting disc golf, supporting the channel, and just being awesome. Check out their store up in Starkville. It's a great location, and they've got a great selection of used and new discs. And if you need any financial assistance, check out Modern Woodman. Hit them up. Tell them I sent you. They may or may not tell you to leave after that, but just tell them I sent you anyway. So thank you all for joining me, and I hope to catch you the next time.